Hello everybody, this is me, Amin.
This is Alex.
And welcome to a new year and another episode of Let's Talk About. Okay, we've been away for quite some time. We've been doing a lot of EV reviews actually. We've been doing a lot of EV road trips and a few other things. But we're so happy to be back. And yeah, I think we want to do this show because, hey, EVs is always a point of discussion and there's always a one side and the other side.
Yep, and there's a lot of people have a lot of opinions about EVs.
Yeah,
whether you're driving or not. Yep.
And I don't understand. I don't understand why there's a lot of hate for EVs. So I want to be clear. It's not that we are like 100% pro EVs either, but I think what we've done is we've done the tests and we are now also users. I was actually quite skeptic about the growth of EV adoption in Malaysia. I said in one podcast, it was in LTA itself, I said that it might take another 5 to 10 years before Malaysia is ready, the infrastructure is ready to accept EVs. But I was wrong. So I think almost 3 years ago, I bought an EV and I said, okay, to really figure this out, I have to try it out myself before I can comment. That's the Soya Chin Chow way. And after 2 years, almost 3 years in the EV journey, I think it's actually quite good.
Yeah, I think we all of us we surprised ourselves, right? I mean, we all came in as skeptic because I think we had discussion before that. Okay, it's going to be slow, you know. Will Malaysia be fast enough to deploy chargers? Not so those kind of things, right?
Yeah, charging infrastructure, the price of EVs. Adoption, whether power will cope. So I had all of those doubts. And I thought to myself, like, the only way for us to really find out about this is to be users ourselves. So Alex and I got EVs and we tried it out. And I don't know why I'm ashamed to say this, but it has been a very positive experience. So much so that, you know, we got a lot of comments and we try to respond to all these comments. One of the most popular comments that we get is every time when Alex does road trips is, okay, you wait lah, you know, when it comes to festive period, whatever period lah, festive period, holiday period, weekend period,
weekday period, daytime,
nighttime.
Confirm you're going to queue for the chargers. Right?
There will be a queue for chargers. And I recently went to Perak 2 weeks ago. So now we are in the 2nd of January 2025. So 2 weeks ago I went down to Perak. No, not even 2 weeks ago. It was last week I went down to Perak. And I went. I didn't even fully charge my car before I went. So because I know there was a charger on the way, I stopped by and charged, and then went to my final destination. And then I didn't charge when I was in Perak. There was no charger there. Then
no charger. That's why cannot use
the problem. No charger. Okay. Then I came back from Perak and I stopped again at, was it Ulu Bernam? It was at Ulu Bernam and I stopped. And then it was a very busy period because it was the end of the year and there were a lot of cars traveling. There was a lot of traffic. I came back on a Sunday and I saw, hey, the petrol station was full. There was a lot of people queuing up. The R&R rest stop, the food court was full. And here I am driving my EV, and then there are, and I know because you can check, right? So I know there are chargers available. And all I had to do was just drive and park and charge my car and wait at a makan place and enjoy my food. And by the time I'm done, the car is ready to go. So I posted a short video. Is Putra, who is behind behind the scenes. So he'll show the video now. Teruknya traffic. Okay guys, hi, this is me Amin from soychin.com. Every time I read comments on Facebook, people will say, oh, if I'm driving an EV, I will have to queue up at the charger and wait for cars to finish charging before I can charge. Well, I am at the Ulu Bernam rest stop right now, and you can see there's a lot of cars. People have to wait at the petrol station. Once they fill up the car, they have to move their cars and park their cars before they can go to the convenience store. Meanwhile, all I did was drive up to the Jom charging station, Jentari charging station here, and when I was here just now, 2 out of the 3 bays were available, and all I had to do was just park my car, go to the Starbucks, have my dinner. By the time I'm done with dinner, the car is ready, waiting for me, ready to go. So do you actually have to line up for charging? Actually, that's not true. And it blew out of proportion. We got like over 1.4 million views on Twitter, a few 100,000 more on Facebook and on Instagram, and the comments just keep on coming. It triggered a lot of people. So I really don't know why it triggered a lot of people. Why do you think? It wasn't my intent to trigger people. I mean, you edited the video.
Maybe had some part to play about it.
Yep. Okay, so let's come back to and then we're going to respond to some of the comments. So the comments are hilarious. I had fun just reading the comments. Again, all respect to those who put in the comments, and all these comments are on Facebook. I'm going to respond to them, not all of them, but some of the selected ones. I want to also give my due respect. Maybe you are a fan, you are readers. Maybe you're not informed, or maybe you have questions and you don't know how to ask them. So we want to make this opportunity like the best way for us to teach, educate, and advocate the information, the knowledge, and experience that we have, because we do EV training as well about EVs, and it's not going to be rosy. Please, I want to also paint this picture. I want to tell people, look guys, we're not paid by anybody. We're not paid by no brand. No EV brand. Our EVs we bought for ourselves. The chargers we pay for ourselves. Nobody is sponsoring us to advocate and promote EVs. But I feel that it is such a convenient technology that I think people should just have an open mind about it. Even if you don't like it, just have an open mind before you criticize.
For me, I think EVs are heavily misunderstood in Malaysia because a lot of people make a lot of
assumptions,
make a lot of noise about it, but they don't actually have the actual information. Because we also got sucked into it, because we also believe I think it's going to take years to deploy. It's going to be nightmare to charge on the highways and all that stuff. Because some aspect it was true. 3 years ago, I think we got the Hyundai Kona, so we drove up to Ipoh to Penang and come back.
Yep.
And then when you came back, right, last time, remember one of the RNRs, right, they only had AC chargers. And then I think this time when we reviewed the car, we had to spend like 1-2 hours just to charge the car.
Yep.
Which is super inconvenient.
Yep.
Because by 1 or 2 hours, you should be back in KL already. So that's how bad the infrastructure was 2 years ago. And then things has changed a lot, and very quickly.
Yeah, and cars back then. So we our first EV review was the Kona E Max. What's it called? Kona E something. Kona E.
E Max. Yeah. The highest spec one.
It was pretty good, but by today's standard is okay, not so good. I mean,
that time, it was 200,000 ringgit, 201 horsepower. Now you can get, I think, a more spacious car, same horsepower for almost half the price like a BYD Dolphin.
Yeah. Or you can get, for 200,000, you can get a Tesla.
Yes, long range.
And then, so another thing, I think Alex and I, we have our thoughts on Tesla, and there are certain things that Tesla don't do very well, but I have to now admit, after driving a few Teslas, the Model 3 Performance, we drove the Model Y Performance, there are certain things that they do really good too. And hey, that's the thing about us, StoryChanger.com. We don't mind to change our belief and change what we know and what we've learned with the new knowledge and information that's presented to us. So back to the question, why do you think people were so triggered by that video, Alex?
I think because it just it goes against what people believe, right? Because I think most people have the misconception that there'll be long queues at chargers. There's not enough chargers. Everyone always say there's not enough EV chargers in Malaysia. There's not enough, simply not enough. So you want to get an EV, it's going to be
don't bother.
Don't bother. You're looking for trouble.
Yeah, waste your time.
Don't avoid, because not enough chargers. You're going to wait for a long time.
Yeah.
But when you show that video, it kind of like proved them wrong that how come there's available chargers? This shouldn't be happening.
Why does ICE car have to line up and EV cars don't have to line up? Because you know why? More ICE cars than EV cars. That's why.
But the thing is, the misconception at the first one, this still doesn't run away from the fact that people believe that there's not enough EV chargers. There's not enough EV chargers, so that means there will be long queues. But at the end, it's not true.
Okay.
For example.
Okay, I want to come back to also this other thing. I want to make another disclaimer, please, before we start, right? Before any more comments come in. I want to say this. Look, we're not pitting ICE vehicles against EVs. We're not. For the at the risk of pissing off EV people, I'm gonna say ICE vehicles are more fun to drive. Oh my god, I'm just gonna die, man. But okay, there are benefits having an ICE and there are benefits having an EV. What I always tell people is, look, don't think of an EV as a car. Think of it as a gadget, and you can do so much more with it than just go from point A to point B like you can do in an ICE car. Okay, so Alex told me also, I think the one reason why people were annoyed with that video was apparently I was comparing. The way I framed the content was that I was comparing EVs versus ICE. It's like, oh, that's why they were triggered, because all the ICE people were like, oh, of course ICE have to line up because there's a lot of ICE. You wait until there's a lot of EVs, then you're gonna line up until you muntah already. Okay, the truth of I don't know how should we do with this? Should we just go through the questions and then add on our experiences in our responses to the question? I think we should do that.
I think let's address the questions, the comments first, and then maybe we give our own closing remarks and closing thoughts.
Okay, let's do that. All right. So I will start with the first question. So you were forced to get Starbucks for dinner?
Yeah, why are you forced to get Starbucks for dinner?
Oh my god. I mean, okay, again, all due respect to the person commenting. I don't know you, so I won't comment anything about you or whatever. I think it's just misunderstanding. I wasn't forced to buy Starbucks. It just so happened that I haven't had Starbucks for a long time, and it just so happened that that charger was near a Starbucks. I could walk all the way down to the food court. What's it called? Is it Medan Selera, the R&R? Yeah, the food court. I could walk there, but it's full. And I really wanted dinner. I just finished a full day of racing. So I went to Perak for a motorcycle race. The race was the whole day. And after the race, I packed up, took my things and left, and wanted to beat the traffic, but I got caught out in the traffic, and I head on my way, and the most convenient charger location was at Ulu Bernam. This was the charger that was shown in the video, and there was a Starbucks there. So why not just use the most out of the convenience? I don't see an issue. So I guess people, maybe if they don't know where to poke, they poke on your credibility, on your personality, I guess, to a point that even having dinner at Starbucks was an issue in the threads.
Well, even I did, this is not our first video doing EV road trips. It's one time I do road trips and then I show that, I just charge for like 10 minutes like that. So I go to the shop and buy drinks. I also kena kecam for picking up coffee. They say,
why you cannot drink coffee while driving?
They say, it's not too much sugar, you're gonna get diabetes. Come on.
So, because every time you charge, you have to go pick up coffee, so they think that you're gonna get diabetes because your coffee is sweet.
Yeah, so that's why my last video, when I go down south to Malacca and back, I drink plain water. Okay or not? Water okay lah? Okay tak?
I mean, guys, please, let's learn together. Okay, let's go to the second question. I don't think you can get a charger at some places like Pasar Malam, Mama, only atas place got. Is this true, Alex? So here's another misconception. People think that EVs are for T20 or whatever level because they're expensive. Okay, the truth of the matter is, yes, majority of the cars sold in Malaysia is below 100,000 ringgit. I think 80 to 50,000 ringgit. And yes, all of the EVs sold in Malaysia right now is above 100,000 ringgit. And the government needs to think about how to make EV prices lower. They have to start looking at how to invite manufacturers to come in and manufacture EVs here. Local brands like Proton and Produa, while they are already starting to sell EVs in Malaysia under the Proton brand, and Produa maybe towards the end of this year in 2025, they are also still struggling to get the price to be below 100,000 ringgit. So that's one thing. Then we talk about value. So I talked about like how the Proton EMAS 7 brings a lot of value for 100,000 ringgit.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yep. And also, speaking of which, right, I think nowadays you can get EVs less than 100,000 ringgit as well, because firstly, I think second-hand cars, because I think a lot of the mainstream EVs have been around for 1-2 years. You can get like a BYD Dolphin for 70,000 ringgit. And then also there are some brands who give a lot of discounts rebates. Like for example, the MG ZS you can get for 99,000 ringgit.
Yep.
Even the MG4 with the rebates you can get for 95,000 ringgit. So prices are actually coming down. And if you look at the second market, there's a lot of good EV deals out there. So if you're looking for EV less 100,000 ringgit, yes, you can. Of course, it won't be as cheap as MyV and all that. That will take time because we got to look at perhaps Produa if they actually come out with the EV.
I'm skeptical about Produa, but maybe that's another podcast.
Yeah, but they say they want to target below 90,000 ringgit. So we're going to see about that. So it takes a while because of the current policy we have in place by the government. So no EVs under 100,000 ringgit can be imported into Malaysia. So that's why you see a lot of cars that's supposed to be cheaper, like the Neta V, the Dolphin. Those are supposed to be priced less than 100,000 ringgit.
About 80.
They have to be priced at 100,000 ringgit because that's the threshold.
Yeah.
But going to the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I have a point. I just realized something. Okay, maybe you continue what you wanted to say.
I'm done with the car. Yeah.
Okay, going back to the question. You don't. I don't think you can get charger at some places like Pasar Malam, Mama, only atas place got. First of all, do you get petrol station at Pasar Malam, at Mama? You don't. So why do you expect to have chargers? That's even.
But he's a fair question though because those are destinations.
Okay, we'll get to that point. I have that point. So I think there's some double standards here. And okay, that's number one. Number two is there are some places where charges there are charges at Pasar Malam or somewhere. I remember Maidin got Pasar Malam. Maidin got charges.
Maidin got charges. If they have Pasar Malam, if they have market in front, you can.
Yes.
The thing is, you can do the same reason for petrol station because petrol station 5 minutes that's what people say.
All right, so that's another thing we talk about, right? So why is it that you have this double standard that charges must be available at Pasar Malam? That means, right, you already understand that, hey, the convenience of owning an EV means I can park my car and charge it while I do my thing at the Pasar Malam, while I do my thing at the Mama, while I do my thing at the shopping mall. And that is the biggest convenience of owning an EV. And I think it's not true that when people say only atas places got lah, because we've established there's charges at Maidin, there's charges at a lot of like
curbside also. There's also like, for example, even McDonald's, they also have chargers there. So Aeon Mall, you also get chargers there as well. Lotus, you also got chargers there.
Lotus, yeah.
Yeah, so they are being deployed in phases. So obviously the challenge about EVs is how do they put chargers in places with the least resistance, the easiest place to deploy. So they do in buildings because you have less red tapes. So eventually, if let's say all the government agencies are on board, eventually they're going to deploy more chargers. Because we also see like even chargers is outside, right? Like charge EV chargers on the roadsides and all that stuff. So it is possible to reach Mama. So if let's say there's a market, there'll definitely be opportunity to deploy chargers at Pasar Malams and Mamaks.
Yeah.
Even at the street parking from the councils. So those are coming eventually.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where there are market places and chargers too. So
even shop houses also in front of house they put charger in front.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying this because I'm an EV user or because we're promoting EVs. We're saying this based on our experience. Have you had a problem charging your car? I mean, like finding a charger.
For me, in Klang Valley, not an issue lah, because there's a lot of chargers in Klang Valley because of the concentration of EVs. And I say this a lot of times, right? The more EVs hit the road, there'll be more chargers being deployed. And we've seen the growth in the past 2 years. Now, like last time, right, it's hard to find chargers, right? Mostly it's Shell Recharge. They're the more prominent one. Now, almost all the major malls in the Klang Valley have chargers.
Yep.
KLCC, Mid Valley, The Gardens, Sangway Pyramid, Pavilion, all of them have chargers.
Yeah.
And you're going to see more of this deploying as you go along. And then also, like for example, most of hypermarts, Aeon, Lotus, they all have chargers inside AC and DC as well.
One of the latest malls, the Elmina Lakeside Mall,
Yes.
already have like 6 DC chargers if I'm not mistaken.
Or coming up, I think it's even bigger.
Yeah.
I think 8 ports.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So these are problems that can be solved. So as you said again, the more EVs on the road, more chargers can be deployed.
Even
but you can do the same for petrol stations.
Yes, you can't.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, even one of the smallest RNRs, the ones that's near GCE, RNR Elmina,
yes.
southbound
And northbound.
there are charges there.
Yep.
But there's no petrol station.
Oh, there's no petrol station.
No. At that RNR, no. It's a very small RNR. It's just a strip.
Oh, speaking of RNRs, you know the new WCE highway that's newly opened? there are no RNRs, there's no petrol station on the toll section at all.
Wow.
But there's already 3 DC charging stations on WC highway. So that shows that how quickly EV chargers can be deployed compared to petrol stations.
Because you know why? Petrol can go very fast. So it's okay for them to get out of the highway, Alex. No problems, man.
Yeah, but the point is that it's faster to deploy.
Okay, you're talking about the number of cars and the number of chargers, right? So we go to the third question. This is a bit of a long one. I'll read it. This is question number 3. Not yet. When more EMAS BYDs on the road, good luck. Just 3 chargers, and while you are eating your dinner, people already drive away closer to their destination. Anyway, it's pointless argument. You're happy with your EV, no matter what, this is already your path. Doesn't matter lah. If ICE user wants to say this and that, only you and other EV users know since you are using EV. ICE user only know they feel fuel and they drive away. They don't know what it's like to charge and what is EV range anxiety. How much you save from using EV instead of petrol, all they don't know. So I think this question is a bit of good and bad. I'm not sure whether this guy is angry or not.
My answer is yes.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good opportunity to say, like, okay, what you mentioned just now, the number of chargers are increasing quite quickly.
Yep.
And I think when more EVs come on the road, a lot of people don't realize that, hey, most of the time, 90% of EVs are charged at home.
Yep, at destinations.
Yeah, or at the shopping mall or at the office. So more and more offices will have EV chargers for people to charge. And more R&R stops will have chargers. So, I can't predict the future, but from what I can see now, the growth and the demand, actually, would you say the supply of charger now is more than the demand for chargers now in Malaysia?
I think it depends on the situation. For me, I think it's a bit sporadic. I think for DC chargers all along the highway itself, right? I think because we've been keeping track with the chargers as well. You can check, unlike petrol stations, you can actually check the status of the chargers on the app. If you download the Gentari Go app, Jom Charge or Charge EV, you can actually check the charger status anywhere on your phone. And you notice, right? There are more chargers deployed on the North Side Highway, but they are severely underutilized. Why is that so? If you open the app right now, right, you can see most of the locations, they're like, if let's say there's 4 nozzles, 4 or 4 available.
Now, of course, now it's working day, Alex. People are working, they're not traveling.
Hey, traveling also, if people go to North Side all the time, also if you check festive season, right, when I check, right, they're mostly empty. Case in point, yesterday, 1st January, public holiday, okay, I went to Malacca and I made the stop at every single DC charging station to see the queue. There's no queue. All are empty. There's only one time there's close to have a queue. No, actually not have a queue. There's one time I went to Ayer Keroh overhead bridge. I do a video when I was a child. And then Singapore Denza D9 came by to charge. Yeah.
Singaporeans.
That's the only one. And then on my way back, I checked all the chargers, all empty. Except one place that's not really empty is at the Senawang lay-by. That's with the battery energy storage unit. One Singaporean Toyota BZ4X was there to charge. That's it. It's very clear.
Of course, Alex, you went on the New Year holiday. You should go for Chinese New Year, Hari Raya holiday. More people travel that time.
Yeah, I've done that last year. Okay, last year Chinese New Year I went to JB to the Saru. So I went down and then I went to Ayer Keroh, our favorite spot, because that place has 5 DC charger points. I was the only one there. And then I went to Desaru and I charged at the DC Handal's charger at the Desaru coast. There's nobody there as well. On my way back, I charged at the hotel as well. So the hotel staying, they actually have a AC charger, 22 kilowatts. I can charge there as well. I'll top up there. So it's actually the number of chargers are actually quite substantial, more than before. So I didn't have to queue. So the point is that based on our finding, based on our actual verification on the ground,
in real life
situation, not just hearsay people from comments,
not just from the University of Facebook.
Yes, there are enough chargers for the vehicles right now for long distance drive. Right now,
of course, now you didn't go to the Pantai Timur.
Hey, I did. Last Raya, I did from KL all the way to Kota Baru on the BYD seal on a single charge tower.
Wow.
And I reached there at 23% battery remaining. And I did a stop at Gua Musang when there was a first DC charger deployed by DC Handal. 47 kilowatt at Hentian Gua Musang, there was nobody there.
Speaking of that trip, of course, you can make it in single charge. Your average speed is how much?
I drive as I better not say the speed. But then the second trip I went was with the GWM Aura Good Cat. We also go through Gomosa. We made it to Kuala Terengganu on a single charge as well.
Aura Good Cat or Aura 07?
Sorry, Aura 07.
This is the performance model, right?
We got a long range model, so the two-wheel drive version.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a single charge, and then in Kuala Terengganu, despite having only one DC charger at the time, there was nobody there.
Okay, I think what you mentioned all leads to this really relevant question number 4. Okay, question 4. Normal. Soya Cincau admin are paid huge amount of cash to be EV fanboys, plus hard selling their EV classes. Let them enjoy their charge while we pump 5 minutes and leave. They enjoy their lepaking session for 30 minutes. I don't even know how to comment to this. Okay, I know. First of all, we're not paid huge amounts of cash. Yes, we do try to promote our EV training because I think it's the best way to advocate or promote understanding. Even if you don't agree towards using EVs, fine. There's no right or wrong here. You don't agree. Okay, that's fine. But do you have to resort to name calling? Do you have to resort to putting us down and saying that we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that? I don't think that's the right way to go. Now move on to a question that you picked up on Twitter, Alex. I'll just read it. Okay, katakan ada 100 kenderaan dan ada 10 pam minyak dan setiap kereta perlukan 5 minit nak isi. Kita perlukan 50 minit untuk clearkan semua kereta tu. Katakan ada 100 EV dan ada 10 DC charger dan setiap kereta perlukan 15 minit lah nak charge. Kau perlukan 2.5 jam nak clearkan semua kereta tu. Nampak tak masalah isu argument tak beratur kat charger ni? Ada ke 10 DC charger kat satu tempat? Dan itu pun kalau owner charge 15 minit. Kena macam samdol influencer isi sampai 100%, dah sejam satu kereta. EV people, please teach your kawan some otak. Simple maths lah, day.
Wow. No, the first point though, that got me intrigued, right? 100 cars and 10 pumps and only 50 minutes. Was it a situation before 50 minutes to clear 100 cars?
5 minutes. 50 minutes. No, I don't know. Did anybody time it? No, I think it's based on an assumption.
Okay, assumption lah. Of course lah. I mean, I think it's reality lah that petrol cars can pump very quickly lah. That's the thing. But the thing is this: when you go, okay, let's say for example you go to stop, right? Highway stop. You don't just go and pump petrol. You need to go toilet. For example,
yeah, some people, my observation, or I'm an ICE user as well, and I use RNR as well. So my observation is, I don't know what is majority, but I see a lot of people prefer to go to the counter for some reason to pay for their petrol. I don't know why.
Yep.
So that's time. That's more than 5 minutes if there's a line there.
Yep.
And then you tap, and then some people. Not a lot, and I hope it's the minority. They leave their car at the pump and then they go inside to browse and get their coffee and things like that. So I think it takes more than 50 minutes to clear 100 cars. I think. I mean, so I guess this person will come and say, "Oh no, let's do it like a pit stop style."
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can charge EV for 5 minutes with DC.
Yep, but the thing is, okay, right now, we look at the time span is given 100 petrol cars and 100 EV cars. Right now, obviously, the number of EVs are not that many, to be fair.
Yeah.
So the chances of 100 EVs going to one place in 1 hour is very low, based on what we observe as well, because the utilization is very low. That's the point we're trying to make here. There are more EV chargers on the highway INRs
than the number of EVs.
EVs passing by at the stops. Because number one is, if you look at the top 5 EVs sold in Malaysia this year, right, 67% of them are the cars with more than 500 kilometers of range, like the BYD Seal, the Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model Y. Those 3 are among the top 5 cars being sold. And most of these cars can do 450, 500. So I reckon that not many of these EV owners who had to stop, because if you charge 100% full at home, either at a cheap price or at a free destination charger, you can just make it one stop all the way to the destination, so you don't really need to charge. So like for example, in your case, because you start off not with 100% full charge, you need to make a stop. And so happen you also want to have dinner, then you can charge longer. So I would say that the chances of 100 EV passing by to that stop is not there yet today. Future, Yes, probably in the future. But by then, if let's say the adoption rate is that high to 100 EVs to go to that stock in one particular time, I think by then we should have mega hubs already. Because at the end of the day is the EV adoption, right? So it needs to make business sense for CPOs. Of course, you cannot base it now on 3 chargers. The reason why there's 3 chargers is based on growth. So if there's more cars on the road, it's definitely going to scale up. And we're seeing a lot of plans to do EV charging hubs. Charge EV, they plan to have a hyper station at Seremban INR. We also have seen DC Handal in Johor at Iskandar Putri with 28 nozzles. That's more than a typical petrol station.
Wait. But he says here, ada ke 10 DC charger kat satu tempat?
Ada. Ada.
But he says, he asking.
JPO ada. The DC Handal deployment at JPO, there's 12 DC charging points out there. And then there's more coming out soon. So at the end, it goes through tandem, right? So it's chicken egg situation. Everyone wants to have more DC chargers. If you talk to CPO, they want more EV cars on the road because it needs to make a financial sense. Similar to petrol station, when cars started last time doing long distance drive, right? Petrol station, how many bays were there? Maybe 2 bays, 4 bays, and it will scale up according to the demand and the whole situation. So yeah.
Like,
that's my thoughts.
Even with the number of cars in Malaysia right now, WC doesn't even have any R&R.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not dunking WCE. I'm not blaming them. I think it's fine. And they're planning to do some R&Rs, but they opened the highway without any R&Rs. So even until today, there's still like a scarcity in terms of supply when it comes to rest stops for just cars in general.
Yeah. And also, when another argument said, if you need a stop to charge. The thing is, if you look at the highway, right, people stop at R&Rs whether you're driving EV or ICE because people need a break, people need to go to the toilet, people need refuel.
They need to pray.
Yeah. So, you know, how many... That's why I feel a bit weird that people say, I won't buy EV until a car can do 1,000 kilometers of range. Because at the end of the day, we all have bladder range. We all need a stop.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair for this person to like lump sum everybody into one category. So he says, you know, kena macam samdol influencer ni isi sampai 100% dah sejam satu kereta. You cannot lump sum this one guy and equate him to all EV users. I think as far as I've met EV users, I think maybe Alex, you can chime in on this as well. A lot of them are very courteous and very, you know, aware of, you know, I want to like charge really quickly and leave. Yes, we do get some scragglers who hog parking lots, who plug in the car and don't charge, who don't even plug in the car but just park it there. I mean, you know, again, I don't want to blame ICE users and EV users, but they are bad apples in any bunch. So,
like for example, people park at the petrol station and go to the store and all that. But do we say all petrol drivers are like that? No. And I think this issue will be, I think, less significant as more chargers being deployed. So let's say, for example, if it's charging hub like 50 stations or 50 bays, even one two person hog, not really issue. There's enough charge points everyone. So it depends on development. Like for example, there's like for example in more matured places, some places, right, they don't actually have designated EV charging spots. All parking lots have EV chargers. So whether you're driving ICE or EV, just park anywhere you like. You want to park for half an hour, 1 hour, no big deal because EV chargers are so abundant.
And then, you know, again, he comes back and asks whether there are any DC chargers that whether there are 10 DC chargers at one place. We can name a few. I know Gamuda Cove, Tesla superchargers and Gentari chargers combined already more than 10. The one that building in Johor is already more than 20.
28. JPO 12. And then also what's that? Bangsa South. DC Handal also, they have like a clusters of DC chargers all around. So I think there's roughly about 14 DC chargers.
I just like that there's a lot of options.
And then the thing is, this is not the only one, guys. The chargers are being deployed rapidly. If you follow us, right, we've been posting a lot of new EV charging deployments because we create awareness that, hey, there are more places for you to charge. And
again, I want to remind everybody, look, this is not me and you. This is not like, okay, we're correct and somebody else is wrong. It's like, this is the data and this is the facts that we have. If it tells us another thing, and we will share with you that, hey, we agree with you. Yeah, there needs to be more charger. And we said that 2 years ago, but now there's so many chargers. And then he ends by saying, EV people, please teach your kawan some otak. Simple maths lah, they. What is it that I'm supposed to learn here?
I don't know.
Because I really don't understand. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Same person. Actually, statements like this one is stupid. Once more people use EVs, he still thinks there would be no queue. We have millions of fuel pumps, and even with a 5-minute operation, we still have to queue. How many billions of charges you need to ensure people do not queue? First of all, do we have millions of fuel pumps? I don't think so, man.
Yeah, and also billions. I don't think need billions. If billions, which means you have one charger for every 5 people on the planet.
Do we even have a billion road users in Malaysia?
No, there's no billion. No.
So
Malaysia.
why do we need billions of chargers? How does that make sense? Okay, let's say you're a charge point operator, right? Okay, we gotta build 10 chargers for each car. It doesn't make sense.
I think it's just exaggerating. But for me, it's petrol.
That sounds silly, doesn't it?
Yeah, here's the thing. 5 minute. Yeah, we already said that at the beginning. Petrol cars 5 minutes you can pump to full, no problem. But the thing is, you don't forget that for EVs, right? You can charge at home. You can charge the destination when the car is parked.
I can charge while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, so that's probably the reason why the utilization for EV chargers on the highway is quite low. And here's the thing: we want more EV chargers, but at the same time, data shows that utilization is low. So how do we solve this? You want more chargers, so it needs to be in tandem, because it needs to be financially feasible for charge point operators to deploy if there is sufficient demand.
Yeah. Okay, I want to come back to this statement where people say, "Oh, I can pump petrol 5 minutes and I'm done." I don't want to compare. It's just unlocking your mindset. And I keep telling people in our training that, maybe you don't know what you don't know, or you haven't experienced what we collectively have experienced. And let's share our experiences. And maybe your questions, maybe it's new that it teaches me something. So when people tell me, it takes 5 minutes to pump fuel petrol, and like Alex said, yes, it's true. With this caveat, you have to be at the petrol station. So how long does it take you to go to the petrol station? Then how long does it take you to go from the petrol station to your destination? So in totality, the time that it takes for you to get that fuel up is maybe not actually 5 minutes.
Yep, and also the thing about EVs is, right, it's like, think a bit like your smartphone. You can charge your phone when you sleep overnight, or if you forget to charge your phone overnight, you can actually charge it when you reach the office. So similar to EV, you can actually start the day with a full charge if you want to.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, you just unplug the car, it's fully charged. If you forget to charge, let's say you got 20% battery left, you're heading to the office. If your office has a charger, you go to the office, you can just, because you're going to park your car in the office for whole day, right? You can charge your car in the office also.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that, you need to realize that, there are more avenues for you to charge. Even a 3-pin wall socket on a wall, you can charge a car.
Yep.
So let's say you go balik kampung, you go to like homestay or go to your grandma's house, you can bring a granny charger.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, granny charger is like the slow charger lah. So it's like a 3-pin charger you can plug to your car. Yes,
charge
it's
to
slow.
your granny's house.
Yeah, granny's house. You can charge, it's slow, but let's say overnight you can get about 20-25% charge, which is actually more than enough because you can get about 100 kilometers of range.
Yeah. So I usually granny charge when I travel overseas, station. Wherever I park at the homestay, I'll just tell the homestay I'm charging. They don't have any issues with that. Unfortunately, the homestay that I stayed in Perak was literally a kampong house.
Okay.
So it's a house built out of woods and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So literally a kampong house. It's not homestay. So they didn't have a plug point outside, and the parking was a bit difficult for me to reach the plug point, so I couldn't charge.
Yep.
So my journey to Perak, Kampung Gajah, I started from my house with 66%, and then I arrived at, what was the Ulu Bernam? Was it the charging station?
Yep, Ulu Bernam.
With 40% or 44%, something like that.
7%, I believe.
No, 40%.
Is it?
Yeah. And then after that, I charged, and then I went to Perak, and then I did my thing, and then I went to Teluk Intan to check out the tower, and then I came back. It wasn't an issue for me. I didn't have any range anxiety. I didn't have any problems. So I guess, guys, if you guys want to know about traveling, using EVs and whatever, just ask us in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to help you out.
Also, another thing I want to add on is that a lot of people have the misconception that, if you charge, you need to charge to full all the time. It's naturally not true. You can just charge what you need. Like, for example, right, for my case, I also don't want to waste time in the R&R. So let's say if I go to a charging spot, I plug it in, I go to the toilet, and then I go to the Mercer store to buy some drinks, water, and all that, and I get back to the car within like 9 minutes. I can get sufficient charge, maybe like from 30 to 50 or 30 to 60% charge, and that's all I need, because in that short 9 minutes I can get 100 over kilometers of range. So just quick top up. Yeah, and in fact it's actually convenient because you go in there, you plug in, because you just plug in and you do whatever you want and come back and then you're done.
Let's go to the next. I don't know whether this is a question, but this is a...
Ini soalan ke kenyataan? Can show the clip, yeah. Ini soalan ke kenyataan?
Ni cadang ke soalan?
Okay, I'm just going to read it. Yang Gebang kata nak queue up for charging tu semua tak pakai EV pun. Sembang kari aja. Lebih tu.
Oh well, I think like we always say lah, people don't know what they don't know lah. And the thing is, we are ICE drivers as well. We drive a petrol car, he drive a diesel as well, and then we also drive EV. So basically we see both sides of the spectrum. And the thing is, we always see online is that people who comment, who make a lot of comments about negative remarks about EVs are people who haven't tried EVs yet, or don't have a clear
and they have something against EV for some reason. I don't know why.
I think for me it's the way, like, we always cover technology, right? In every new wave of technology, there's always resistance. Like last time when the first computers come out, nobody wants a computer. It takes a while until it becomes a necessity. Same as mobile phones as well. They don't need mobile phones, mobile phones. And then we see the same situation with smartphones. People are hesitant to get smartphone, like the battery doesn't last long. I use my Nokia. And we see the same thing with digital banking, e-wallets, even RFID. People say a lot of things about RFID. People like to share bad videos about RFID, but in actual fact, that most of the time, it works fine. And people get stuck in the smart tech lane, but nobody make a fuss about it. So the thing is, I think it's part of new technology. There's always a resistance to change.
It's human nature, I guess.
All
right, we'll move on to the next one. All right, this one is also, I don't know whether it's a statement or a question. Probably the stupidest video I had watched today.
Okay, thanks for watching.
All right, I agree with Alex. Thanks for the views.
And thanks for engagement, for commenting as well.
Yeah, thanks for the engagement. For me, it's like this, right? So, why did it annoy you so much that you have to put out a statement like that? That you have to say that this is a stupid video? Even if, I mean, really, surely a video that shares information that whether you agree or don't agree with, but it shares information, maybe it supports your belief or doesn't support your belief, is useful and at the very least informative. What it is surely not is stupid, I think. I mean, don't you think so? Don't you think that's a fair statement?
I don't know, man.
I mean, like, even if I see a video that I don't agree with, but it provides me with information that I can use to counter what that point is trying to say, then okay, that's useful to me. I wouldn't say it's stupid.
I think it's just because it didn't deliver as expected. They're expecting to see long queues, but they didn't see.
I come to a point where maybe we have to start looking for long queues now.
I've tried so hard, man. Okay, next.
All right, so I think, okay, this is probably like maybe the last question. It's a long one. If I own a petrol station, I set up one petrol pump and one EV charging point. The petrol pump in 1 hour can lion 10 to 15 cars, maybe, versus 1 to 2 EVs for that EV charging point. So you guess how much sales I make from the petrol pump versus that charging point. 10 to 15 cars is like what? Minimal 1.2k for 600 liters of fuel sold in an hour versus 50 ringgit for serving one BYD Dolphin 70 kilowatt hour in that 1 hour. Who is BYD Dolphin got 70 kilowatt hour?
The rate the
battery
standard one is 70 kilowatts.
Okay. Kilowatt. Okay.
The charging rate, right?
No, battery kilowatt hour.
60 kilowatt hour.
Oh, okay. Who is more profiting to serve? Simply said, petrol is cheap, nice, good to sell. In the end of the day, time is money, space is money. The faster to turn cycle for refueling, the more I earn. That EV occupying the space for 1 hour definitely not doing me any good. So which business owner like to earn less when they can earn more? The fact that putting a charging station there means reducing parking space for other people. Previously, 10 people can park there to go to toilet. Now cannot use EV owner having dinner in Starbucks causing inconvenience. What the inconvenience to other users?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You said if you own a petrol station, but have you talked to any petrol station owners? Because if you know how petrol station works, right?
Yep.
Actually, they don't earn much from the petrol. They earn more. The profit margin they earn more from the convenience store itself.
Yes.
And if let's say you have EV charging hub, okay, if EVs users spend more time at the station, you have more chance to earn more money from F&B, from food, from services. Imagine if there are more EVs owners who are staying there for maybe half an hour. The amount of stuff that you can upsell to them is huge. There's a lot of potential to upsell that. Imagine if an EV charging station and then you have F&B outlets, you have your convenience store, and you want to provide extra services like car wash or vacuum while the car is being charged.
Yeah.
You can earn so much money, man.
Yeah.
Crap, I'm just giving you a free business.
No. You cannot set up that business because people just want to go in, pump, go out. They're all like Formula 1 drivers. They don't want to do anything else. I don't know why convenience stores even exist at petrol stations. It's a bad business model.
We're talking about making more money, right? So actually, for petrol station owners, they make more money from selling stuff to the customers, upsell stuff, the convenience store, the F&B outlets. They actually make more money from there.
It comes to think of it, don't I make more money if I have both an EV charging station and a petrol station rather than one?
Yeah, but he's trying to say that in terms of the how many cars you can move. But the thing is, it's not just the number of cars you can move, but what are other potential stuff you can actually upsell. Like, for example, if your place has more charging stations than other charging stations on the highway, people will come to you, man. You'll be the preferred stop, and you're going to have more footfalls.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you come to think of it, actually we have a choice of R&Rs along the Plus Highway. And
for good reasons, right?
Yes, and we can see that some R&Rs are more frequented by people rather than others.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, and it's definitely not the petrol station.
Yes. Yeah, correct. So there's a reason why you want to go to a certain place, because of the facilities and what you can offer to the drivers.
Yeah, so again, I want to remind, we're not trying to make fun of this. Again, it's just a discussion. So if everybody can just laugh at your comments and our responses, I think we all be better for it.
Yep.
I'm having so much fun. I don't know whether we should stop. We should continue with maybe one or two more questions. When all Proton and Produa is EV and see what are you talking today is a joke.
Well, I think if all Proton and Produa is the EV, I think that means that...
Wow, that means our country is damn good already, man.
No, which means that EV adoption is like all-time high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think by then, we have plenty of EV charging hubs around the country.
Everybody. So here's the thing, right? So charging hubs. Okay, do you think charging hubs is important? But I think that's a dumb question. It is important. I mean, if you're traveling around town, you just charge at home, man. You don't.
Yep.
I don't.
But you need it for interstate travel, because at the end of the day, the future for mobility, right? If let's say the future is really electric, right? Eventually you want to have more charging stations. Like, for example, the reason why we pick certain place to charge, our favorite place to charge, because of the high availability.
Yep.
So eventually, if let's say EVs will go to mass, right? The future of R&Rs will be fully electric, like the one we saw in Germany, Sotimo Park. So imagine one whole place is like a very nice park-like atmosphere with an R&R. Fully full of DC charge points and super quiet, and you can imagine you just park your car and then go to the store. So it's like a mini mall kind of thing. So imagine an R&R that has zero emissions.
That's epic, man.
That would be cool, right? So that would be the future of R&Rs, I feel.
Yeah, it's just more cooler that way, because then I can park my EV. I can go there. It can be a hangout place. I can go there, bring my EV there while it's charging, or if it's not even charging, I can just set up my V2L there, have some buskers. It'll be fun.
Yep.
I mean, it just opens up a lot more possibilities.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I picked a lot of questions. Some of them quite interesting. I just want to make sure that we don't repeat them. Okay, this is another one. But bro, try go at CNY. I also like EV, but seriously don't need to take content like this.
Try CNY. Yeah, we always travel during festive season. We've done CNY. So I've driven a Mercedes EQE SUV from KL to JB to Desaru, not an issue. And during Hari Raya, I have done KL to Kota Baru, through Gong Musang, not an issue. And we're going to do the same for Chinese New Year and Hari Raya. So stay tuned for more videos.
Yeah. Okay. So I think That's pretty much. Most of them is just repetition or different variations. Okay, this is the last one. I don't know whether this is a statement or a question. I'll just read it. I kind of agree with the admin. Driving an EV, all you need is charge and go. Do your stuff before you come back up for the drive. A petrol car literally need to inching around while queuing for 3 cars. That takes around 30 minutes for the petrol gun for a 2-minute refuel. You ain't going anywhere while inching forward. Another situation, morning petrol refuel in Klang Valley require long queues too. Try that after an overnight work. And next morning going to refuel. You literally ain't going anywhere except in your car. Another EV situation, knowing the percentage left over for the EV charger. You can literally double park in front of the EV owner and go for a wee before your turn to plug in. Again, petrol guns only can dream of when your bladder is going to top off. I guess this person is an EV user.
That's the last part. I'm a bit not so sure about it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true that for EVs you just charge and then just do whatever you want. People always say that you're going to spend hours charging your car. Actually, how much time do you actually spend? How much of your time you actually spend? Because when it comes to EV, when you plug in, it takes less than a minute to plug in, and you're free to do anything else.
Yep.
Because, like, for example, we talk about the petrol station scenario, right? If let's say you need to make a stop to go to the toilet, to pump petrol.
Okay, three things. Let's say, okay,
pump petrol, go toilet,
go pray, and then
refreshments.
Convenience store.
Right, yeah.
Okay, what do you have to do?
So if you drive a petrol car, you need to queue up first. You need to queue for the pump. Once you reach there, you need to pump petrol. You need to stand next to the car for 5 minutes.
Yes, cannot play with your phone.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
And if you, let's say you don't use contactless, you don't use your settle app, you don't use your credit card, you want to queue up. You queue up somewhere in front of the counter to pay by cash, and then you come out and then you need to pump petrol. You need to spend 5 minutes there again, and then after you're done, you need for parking. And you know how hard is it to find parking in the petrol station? You're going to find, if you're lucky, you can find parking. You park there, and then you go to the toilet. Let's say if you need to do prayers, do your prayers. Then you go to the shop, and then you go to your car and go. While EV, you can check the app straight away before you reach there. Is it available or not?
Sometimes I can even book the lot.
Yeah, you can book a lot. So once you get there, the charging bay is waiting for you.
Waiting for me, yes.
For example, Shell Recharge and TNB Electron is waiting for you. You can park there, and then you can plug in less than 1 minute and do whatever you want to do.
Then I can go and makan, go and pray, go and poop and everything. By the time I'm done, the car is ready to go, waiting for me.
Yeah. So that's the convenience of EVs. Yes, you take a longer time to charge, but you don't actually take so much of your time because it only takes a minute to plug in. And you can actually manage that. You can check the availability and you can actually book the slot.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we made our point. Anything you want to wrap up before we end the episode, Alex?
I feel that there's a lot of misconception about EVs. We're also skeptics as well until we try it out, and then we also got blown away on some of the convenience. Of course, not perfect. Obviously, there are some issues as well. We reported both situations. When the chargers are down, there are occasions that charger network could be down. We reported before, like some charging networks, they went down nationwide because of connectivity issues. Some of them have problem with the app, delay. Some got stuck. Sometimes the gun got stuck. They don't know how to unplug. There are issues, not perfect. I mean, and then of course, for first-time users, it could be overwhelming that you need to download so many apps.
Yep.
But of course, the situation has been improved over time. We've seen the charge point operators doing upgrades for their chargers, upgrades to their apps, also setting limits, like for example, the BSS charging station. So for those who don't know, these are actually charging stations that's attached to a huge battery. It serves like a tanki lah. So the problem was that tanki always gets empty all the time because people always charge it full. So what they did was to cap the chargers up to 80%. So that you get more chance for other people to charge. So that's a good thing. And then we also seen charge point operators deploying more chargers and also offering a subscription service so that your charging rates are much cheaper. So it's not perfect, but we're seeing a lot of improvements being done in the space.
What I can tell you is, I don't see petrol stations giving you free petrol. I know charging operators giving you free charging every time there's a new location. I know charging operators giving you discounts. With the subscription, you get 50% discount. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. Again, there's no right or wrong. If you're going to be ice until you die, that's good too. I mean, I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong and what we're doing is right. I'm just saying that, a lot of people are saying, hey, there's going to be queues. And for the life of us, Alex has been trying so hard to find a queue. But I mean, touch wood. Maybe one day you're gonna find that queue.
If there's a queue, I think it's good because I think
then you can make a video.
Yeah, I can make a video. And notice that because I think what needs if you want the country, right, to expand the number of chargers, we need to have a healthy uptake as well.
Yeah, there will be an inflection point where something will trigger and say, hey, something needs to happen, we need more. And there will be some crazy queue somewhere.
Yeah, so if you want those big charging hubs, you want to have more chargers, right?
Yeah.
Then we need to have a healthy, sustainable ecosystem. So we need to have sufficient cars so that the charge point just says, hey, you know what? The growth is really going up. We can see more utilization. Now we can invest in more places. It's similar to telco, right? So let's say remember when we have 2G and 3G, you only have coverage in cities. When you balik kampung, literally last time, there's no connectivity on the highway, right?
Yep.
You cannot make calls on the highway. And as more users are using a mobile subscription, there's more demand. Now you can have more wireless coverage everywhere.
Yeah,
highways are fully covered. At least can make 2G, make calls, and now you can see more coverage for 4G, and that's driven by demand.
So it's a bit of a chicken and egg story. At the end of the day, this is what we're gonna say, right? So whether you believe in ICE or you believe in EV, hey, all the power to you guys, man. Does that mean that it gives you the opportunity or the priority to tell otherwise to other people? I don't think so. For me, it's like, as long as you have an open mind, ready to learn and ready to maybe change your perception because of new information, that makes you a better person. So at the end of the day, EVs are growing. The EV adoption and the EV ecosystem in Malaysia is growing faster than we ever expected it would be. Like Alex said, there are some drawbacks and some concerns, but they are minor in my respect. Maybe you guys can ask me some question that maybe give us a perspective that we've never seen before. Of course, affordability is one issue. Cars below 100,000 is one issue. But I don't think chargers is an issue. I think that is the outcome I want to say at the end of the day. Chargers, not really a problem at this point in time. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you're listening to us on podcast, give us a 5-star review because that helps a lot in letting other people know about our show. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and drop a comment section for what we should talk about in the next episode. And if you want to drop us a voice note, you can too at
Let's Talk About at soyachinchaa.com.
All right, that's pretty much it. This is me, Amin.
It is Alex.
Catch you guys later.
Bye.